All right, let's get right into it. We're about to pull back the curtain on something you think you know inside and out, something you live with every single second of every day. We're talking about you.
No, really, think about that for a second. Your personality, your taste in music, the choices you made just this morning. We all feel like we're in the driver's seat, right? But what if I told you that a huge part of your identity was quietly constructed by forces you never even knew were there?
I mean, these are the bedrock beliefs of our lives. I am who I am. I made this choice freely. This is my style. It feels so fundamentally true, doesn't it? It's comforting. But psychology, well, it tells a slightly different and frankly a much more interesting story.
That's the big, unsettling question we're tackling in this explainer. And yeah, it can feel a little uncomfortable, but stick with me, because getting a handle on this is the first step toward a completely different kind of freedom. To get there, we first have to look inward, at the little stories our own minds are telling us.
You see, our brain is an incredible machine, but its number one job isn't to show us the absolute truth of the world. Its top priority is survival. And to survive, it craves consistency and control. It absolutely hates being wrong or feeling regret, so to avoid those feelings, it will literally bend reality for us.
We all do this, right? After you buy that new phone, or pick a major in college, or even just choose a restaurant for dinner, your internal narrator gets to work, convincing you that your choice was the product of pure, cold logic, that you carefully weighed all the options and came to the only reasonable conclusion. And of course, psychologists have a name for this: choice supportive bias. It's basically your brain's internal PR team, working to protect you from that awful sinking feeling of regret. Because the truth is, most of our decisions are actually emotional or impulsive. But the story we tell ourselves later, that's a whole different ballgame.
So what's really happening here is your brain is editing your personal history to make you the hero of the story, this rational, decisive character who is always in control. It's a beautiful, comforting lie. Now, if our minds are rewriting our past, what on earth does that mean for our present?
Okay, so that explains how we justify our choices after we make them. But what about the things we just like? That band you're obsessed with, that clothing style you've adopted. Surely that comes from somewhere deeper, somewhere more authentic, right?
We all believe our taste reflects some kind of objective quality. We like things because they're good. But what if we've got it completely backward? What if we only believe things are good because we've seen them or heard them over and over and over again?
This one is a huge piece of our constructed self. The more we're exposed to something, a logo, a political slogan, a song on the radio, the more we tend to like it. It just feels safe, familiar, and eventually it starts to feel like us. Entire industries, from advertising to pop music, are built on this one simple, powerful principle of repetition.
Okay, so our own brains have these internal biases that are shaping our sense of self. But here's where it gets way deeper. Because those little internal mechanisms are now being targeted and amplified by some incredibly powerful external systems.
Let's be real for a second. The algorithm on your social media feed doesn't know your soul. It doesn't care about your hopes and dreams. It cares about your eyeballs. It shows you what you're most likely to click on, which, over time, trains you to like a narrower and narrower slice of the world. It doesn't discover who you are. It optimizes a version of you. And then you mistake that optimized version for your true self.
And here's the crazy paradox in all this. The more tailored our feeds become, the more it feels like the world is finally getting us. We feel seen, we feel like we're discovering things that are just perfect for us, and we're exercising our own unique tastes and our own free will.
This line just captures it perfectly. You are absolutely free to choose, but only from the options that you've been given. The system isn't a cage that locks you in. It's a very carefully curated menu where every single item is designed to guide you toward a predictable outcome, all while making you feel like you're the one in charge. So, right about now, there's probably a little thought bubbling up in your head. A little defense. Something like, this is all fascinating, but it really applies to other people. Not me. I'm different. If you're thinking that, you're not alone. In fact, that is the most common reaction of all. This is the ego's ultimate defense mechanism. We can so easily see how marketing affects our friends or how algorithms might trap our parents, but we hold on to this core belief that we, somehow, are immune to these forces. You guessed it, psychology has a name for this too. And here's the real kicker.
Being smarter or more educated doesn't protect you from this. In fact, it often just makes you better at coming up with really sophisticated justifications for why your choices are rational and everyone else's are biased.
So let's be really clear about something. Accepting that you're influenced by all this isn't an admission of failure. It's not a sign of weakness. It's simply an admission of being human. Our brains are wired this way. This isn't about some personal flaw. It's just the default setting on our operating system.
And this is the natural question, isn't it? If we're all swimming in this huge ocean of hidden influence, how do we ever get back to shore? How do we reclaim our true selves from all this noise?
And the answer, honestly, might be a little disappointing at first. There's no secret trick, there's no magic pill, you can't just delete all your apps or go live in a cabin in the woods. The forces are just too big. But there is one small, powerful act of rebellion that you can perform multiple times every single day.
It's this simple. Before you click, before you buy, before you form that opinion, just pause, just for a split second. Create a tiny little gap between the impulse and your response. And in that gap, you just ask yourself something.
This is the question. Where did this desire come from? You don't even need to have a clear answer. The simple, quiet act of asking it is what breaks the spell. It interrupts the automated process. It shines a little light of awareness into a system that loves to run on autopilot. Just asking the question, that's the game changer.
And all of this leads us to a final thought. We're told our whole lives to find yourself or be yourself. But what if that's the wrong goal entirely? What if yourself isn't some fixed thing you have to go out and discover, but a dynamic process that's constantly being shaped by the world around you?
Perhaps true freedom isn't about escaping all influence because, honestly, that's impossible. Maybe it's just about seeing the strings. It's the quiet power of noticing a desire bubble up inside you and being able to ask, wait, is that really me? Because in that moment of knowing, you create a choice. And that awareness, that silent understanding of the architecture of you, that might just be the only real freedom there is.